Hold up, SASSA beneficiaries. Did you just check your phone and see money in your account earlier than expected? You're not dreaming. SASSA has moved August payments early, and I'm about to tell you everything you need to know about the surprise change. Stick around because this affects millions of South Africans, and you don't want to miss any crucial details. Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host bringing you the latest updates on SASSA payments, social grants, and everything that affects your monthly income. If this is your first time here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell because I keep you updated on all SASSA changes as they happen. And if you're already part of our community, drop a comment below and let me know, did you already receive your August payment? I want to hear from you. Alright, let's get straight to the point. SASSA has officially moved the August 2025 payment date forward by several days. Instead of the usual payment schedule, beneficiaries are receiving their grants earlier than expected. This is huge news for millions of South Africans who depend on these payments for their daily needs. Now, before we dive deep into the details, let me clarify something important. This isn't a mistake, this isn't a glitch in the system, and no, you don't need to worry about your September payment being delayed because of this. This is an official decision by SASSA, and there are specific reasons why they've made this change. But here's what you need to know right now, not everyone will receive their payment on the same day. There's still a staggered approach, which means different grant types and different beneficiaries will receive their money on different days throughout the early payment period. Let me break down exactly when you can expect your payment. SASSA typically follows a specific order, and even with these early payments, they're maintaining their structured approach. First up, older persons grants and disability grants. These beneficiaries are typically the first to receive their payments, and with the early schedule, many have already started seeing money in their accounts from August 1st onwards. If you're receiving one of these grants, check your account because your money might already be there. Next, child support grants. These payments usually follow a day or two after the older persons and disability grants. So if you're a caregiver receiving child support grants, you should expect your payment within the first few days of the early payment window. Then we have the care dependency grants and foster care grants. These typically come through on the same schedule as child support grants, so caregivers should be checking their accounts around the same time. Now, here's something super important that many people don't realize: your payment date can also depend on your ID number. SASSA sometimes uses the last digit of your ID number to determine which specific day you'll receive your payment within the payment window. This helps manage the system load and ensures everyone gets paid efficiently. So even if you receive the same type of grant as your neighbor, you might not get paid on exactly the same day, and that's completely normal. Now, I know what you're thinking: why did SASSA suddenly decide to move payments early? This isn't something they do without good reason, and I've done some digging to give you the real story. First reason, and this is a big one: banking, logistics and public holidays. When there are public holidays or weekends that fall around the normal payment dates, SASSA often adjusts the schedule to ensure beneficiaries aren't left waiting for their money when banks are closed or when there might be processing delays. Second reason, system efficiency. By spreading payments across more days and starting earlier, SASSA can reduce the strain on both their payment systems and the banking networks. This means fewer technical glitches, less downtime, and more reliable payments for everyone. Third reason, reducing crowds at ATMs and bank branches. We've all seen those long queues on SASSA Payday, right? By starting payments earlier and spreading them out, fewer people are trying to withdraw money on the same day. This is especially important for social distancing and just making the whole process smoother for everyone. But here's the reason that might surprise you: economic timing. Sometimes SASSA moves payments early to align with when beneficiaries need the money most. For example, if school fees are due, or if there are seasonal expenses that beneficiaries need to cover, getting the money a few days earlier can make a real difference in people's lives. And let's be honest, for many families, getting that grant money even a few days early can be the difference between having food on the table or not. It can mean being able to pay for transport to get to work, or covering an unexpected medical expense. SASSA understands this reality. Let's talk about how this early payment affects different types of grants, because not all grants are treated the same way, and the early payment might impact different beneficiaries differently. Starting with the old age pension, currently R270 per month. If you're receiving this grant, you're typically in the first wave of payments anyway, so the early payment just means you're getting your money even sooner than usual. This is fantastic news if you have monthly expenses like medication or recurring bills that are due early in the month. For disability grants, also R270 per month, the same applies. You're in that priority payment group, so you're benefiting from getting your money early. But here's a tip: if you have automatic debit orders or scheduled payments, make sure they align with your new earlier payment date. Child support grant recipients are $510 per child per month. This early payment can be especially helpful for school-related expenses. August is still within the school term, so having that money earlier might help with school fees, uniforms, or educational supplies that kids need. Care dependency grants are $290 per month, and foster care grants are $130 per month. These caregivers often have immediate expenses related to the children they're caring for, so early payment can provide crucial financial relief. Now, some of you might be wondering, does this early payment affect the amount you receive? The answer is no. You're still getting exactly the same amount you always get. The only thing that's changed is when you get it, not how much you get. Okay, now let's talk about some crucial things you need to keep in mind with these early payments, because there are both opportunities and potential pitfalls you should be aware of. First and most important, budget carefully. I cannot stress this enough. Getting your money early might feel like a windfall, but remember, this is still your monthly grant. If you spend it all in the first week because you got it early, you're still going to have to wait until the normal September payment date for your next grant. Create a spending plan immediately when you receive your payment. Divide your grant money into weekly amounts. If you normally budget for 4 weeks with your grant, still budget for 4 weeks, even though you got the money early. Second tip: take advantage of the early payment for planning ahead. This is actually a great opportunity to get ahead on some expenses. Pay your rent early if possible, stock up on non-perishable foods, or take care of any pressing needs while you have the cash in hand. Third, be extra careful about scams. Unfortunately, whenever there are changes to SASSA payments, scammers become more active. You might receive messages claiming you need to confirm your early payment or update your details. Don't fall for it. SASSA will never ask you to pay fees or provide personal information via SMS or phone calls. Fourth, check your balance regularly. With payments coming early and potentially on different days than usual, make sure you're keeping track of when your money actually arrives in your account. Don't assume it's there until you've actually confirmed it. Now let me walk you through exactly how you can check if your payment has been processed and when you can expect it if it hasn't arrived yet. Method number 1, and this is the easiest: use your phone to dial the USSD code for your bank. Most major banks have these codes that let you check your balance for free or for a small fee. For FNB, dial *120*321#. For Standard Bank, dial *120*3279#. For ABSA, dial *120*2272#. For Nedbank, dial *120*3263#. For Capitec, dial *120*3279#. Remember, these codes might charge a small fee, but it's usually much cheaper than going to an ATM or bank branch just to check your balance. Method number 2, contact SASSA directly. You can call their toll-free number at 0800 601011. But be prepared for long waiting times, especially during payment periods when everyone's calling to check on their grants. Method number 3, visit your nearest SASSA office. They can check your payment status and give you information about when to expect your payment. However, I'd recommend this only if you have other business to take care of at the office, because the phone and USSD options are much more convenient. Method number 4, if you have internet access, you can check the official SASSA website or their social media pages. They often post updates about payment schedules and any changes to the normal process. Don't panic if you haven't received your early payment yet. Remember, even with the early schedule, payments are still staggered over several days. Just because your neighbor got their money doesn't mean yours is late. First, check what type of grant you receive and where you typically fall in the payment schedule. If you usually get paid on the third or fourth day of the payment cycle, you'll still be in that same relative position, just earlier in the month. Second, make sure your banking details haven't changed and that your account is still active. Sometimes payments can be delayed if there are issues with your bank account, maybe it's been dormant for too long, or there's some kind of hold on the account. Third, check if there are any issues with your grant status. Sometimes payments are held up if SASSA needs updated information from you, or if there's been a change in your circumstances that they need to verify. If it's been more than 2 business days since others with your grant type have received their payments, then it's time to contact SASSA or visit your local office to investigate what might be causing the delay. But honestly, in most cases, if you haven't received your payment yet, it's simply because your payment date hasn't arrived yet, even within the early payment schedule. Be patient, keep checking, and your money will come through. Let's talk about something really important: how to make the most of receiving your grant early. This is actually a great opportunity to improve your financial planning and maybe even get ahead on some expenses. Strategy number 1, the envelope method. As soon as you receive your early payment, divide the money into envelopes or separate containers for different expenses. One envelope for rent, one for food, one for transport, one for utilities, and maybe a small one for emergencies. Strategy number 2, pay fixed expenses immediately. If you have rent, electricity, or other fixed monthly expenses, consider paying them right away while you have the full grant amount. This ensures these crucial bills are covered and removes the stress of worrying about them later in the month. Strategy number 3, bulk buying for non-perishables. Use the early payment to stock up on items that don't spoil: rice, flour, canned goods, soap, toothpaste. Buying in larger quantities often gets you better prices, and you'll have these essentials throughout the month. Strategy number 4, school expenses. If you have children in school, use this opportunity to pay school fees early, buy uniforms, or stock up on school supplies. Schools often give small discounts for early payment, and you'll avoid the rush when other parents are scrambling to pay fees. But here's what you should not do: don't treat this early payment like bonus money. It's still your regular monthly grant, just arriving earlier. Don't spend extra just because you got the money sooner than expected. Let's zoom out a bit and talk about how these early payments affect entire communities, because SASSA grants don't just impact individual families, they're a major part of the South African economy. When SASSA payments go out early, you'll notice immediate changes in your community. Shops and spaza shops suddenly get busier, taxis have more passengers, and there's generally more economic activity. This early payment means this economic boost happens sooner in the month. Local businesses, especially smaller retailers, often plan their stock and staffing around SASSA payment dates. When payments come early, it can be both an opportunity and a challenge for these businesses. More customers early in the month, but they need to be prepared for it. From an economic standpoint, early payments can actually help smooth out some of the peaks and valleys in local spending patterns. Instead of having everyone spend money on the same few days, the extended early payment period spreads out economic activity. This can be particularly beneficial in rural communities where SASSA grants make up a significant portion of the local economy. The early payments mean money is circulating in the community sooner, which can help other community members who depend on that economic activity. There's also a social impact. When people get their grants early, there's often less stress and anxiety in communities. Families can address urgent needs sooner, and there's less of that end-of-month desperation that many grant-dependent families experience. Now, let's talk about what this early August payment might mean for future SASSA payments, because many of you are probably wondering if this is going to become the new normal. Based on SASSA's communication, this appears to be a specific adjustment for August 2025, rather than a permanent change to the payment schedule. However, SASSA has been moving toward more flexible payment scheduling to better serve beneficiaries. We might see more of these early payments in the future, especially around holiday periods, school calendar events, or when there are economic factors that make early payments beneficial for beneficiaries. What this means for you is that you should stay flexible with your financial planning and always stay updated on SASSA announcements. Don't assume that September will also be early just because August was early. My advice? Treat each month individually. Plan your budget based on the announced payment dates for that specific month, and don't make assumptions about future months. The positive thing about SASSA making these adjustments is that it shows they're thinking about beneficiaries' needs and trying to optimize the payment system. This flexibility could lead to more beneficiary-friendly policies in the future. Before we wrap up, let me share some common mistakes I've seen people make when SASSA changes payment dates, because I want to make sure you don't fall into these traps. Mistake number 1: spending the money too quickly just because you got it early. I've seen families spend their entire grant in the first week because they were excited to have the money, then struggle for the rest of the month. Remember, early payment doesn't mean extra money. Mistake number 2: not adjusting automatic debit orders. If you have debit orders that usually go off after your SASSA payment, but now your payment is early, make sure those debit orders are still properly timed. You don't want to overdraw your account because the timing got messed up. Mistake number 3: falling for scams that take advantage of payment changes. Scammers love to use confusion around payment dates to trick beneficiaries. If someone contacts you asking for fees to expedite your payment or claiming you need to verify your early payment, it's a scam. Mistake number 4: not keeping proper records. With payment dates changing, it becomes even more important to keep track of when you received your money and how much you received. This helps if there are ever disputes or issues with your account. Mistake number 5: panicking if your payment doesn't come on the earliest possible day. Just because some people got paid on August 1st doesn't mean everyone gets paid on August 1st. The early payment period still spans several days. Since we're talking about SASSA payments and timing, let me share some broader tips for managing your grant money more effectively, whether payments come early or on the regular schedule. Tip number 1: create a monthly budget the day you receive your payment. Write down all your essential expenses first: rent, food, transport, utilities. Then allocate money for other needs. Stick to this budget throughout the month. Tip number 2: try the 50/30/20 rule adapted for grants. Spend 50% on absolute necessities, 30% on important but flexible expenses, and if possible, try to save 20% for emergencies. Even saving $50 per month can make a difference over time. Tip number 3: look for community savings groups or stockfuls. These can help you save small amounts regularly and provide access to larger sums when you need them for big expenses like school fees or emergencies. Tip number 4: shop smart. Compare prices at different stores, buy generic brands when the quality is similar, and take advantage of bulk discounts for non-perishable items. Tip number 5: don't be ashamed to ask for help with budgeting. Many community centers and churches offer financial literacy programs specifically designed for grant beneficiaries. These programs can teach you valuable skills for stretching your money further. Alright, let's wrap this up. We've covered everything you need to know about SASSA's early August payments. To summarize the key points, SASSA has moved August 2025 payments earlier than usual, with different grant types being paid on different days within the early payment window. This is an official change, not a mistake, and it's designed to better serve beneficiaries. The amount you receive hasn't changed, only the timing. You still need to budget carefully and make sure this early money lasts you until the next payment cycle. Check your payment status using your bank's USSD codes, and don't panic if you haven't received your money yet. Payments are still staggered even within the early payment period. Now, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and let me know, have you received your early August payment yet? How are you planning to manage your money with this early payment? Do you think SASSA should make early payments more regular? If this video helped you understand the SASSA payment changes, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel reach more people who need this information. And if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss important SASSA updates. Share this video with your family and friends who receive SASSA grants. They need to know about these payment changes too. Remember, knowledge is power when it comes to managing your finances. Stay informed, stay prepared, and make the most of your SASSA grants. I'll be back next week with more updates on SASSA, social grants, and tips for managing your money. Until then, take care of yourselves and your families, and I'll see you in the next video.